Hello, my name is Mike Tholfsen and I work on the Microsoft Education product team. And a big thank you to Breens Network to have me join you virtually for this keynote today. And I'm going to be doing a What's New in Microsoft EDU session. We've just had a bunch of announcements for the BET conference, and I'll show some things that are out now and then a sneak peek of things that are coming. So to start out, some things that are available right now, Learning Accelerators. These are part of the Microsoft 365 suite. They are free. And they focus on things like foundational and future-ready skills, reading, math, well-being, presenting, information literacy, and these are all AI enhanced. This is how they fit into the broader Microsoft 365 Education suite. And you can see up at the top, there's this new layer called Learning Accelerators, and these are built into Microsoft Teams, and they're available today. Now, Math Progress is our numeracy skills tool. And this just came out globally. This is generally available. And Math Progress allows educators to make mathematical focused assignments. Students work on these, teacher reviews it, and we can track progress with insights. So this is an example where an educator can help generate specific math questions. And these are all sorts of categories and topics. And this is the age ranges about 10 to 18. And we have a bunch of pretty deep math tech built into these. Educators can select questions. Students can work on these different types of questions, and then the educator can review and get some insights that are very tuned for math. So these are fully rolled out and available today. The other one that's also available and we've been updating is Speaker Progress, which is all about presentation skills. And then this can work in ages 11 all the way up through higher education. Speaker Progress uses AI to help students practice and improve and develop into confident presenters. So the idea is there's a speaker coach that will listen to students present, give them feedback on things like pace, pitch, filler words, and they get a report when they're done, even body language. This information goes back to the educator, and the educator can review all of that information. So it helps the educator scale out. They can have all these insights across the class, and they can do things that they couldn't do manually before. So the power of AI lets educators go much broader with these practice presentations. Some of our new announcements are we have a bunch of new languages that we're rolling out for Speaker Progress, and there are more coming in the coming months. And also now, students can upload PowerPoint presentations to practice, and it records them. So here's a student uploading a PowerPoint presentation. And you can see that she's in the upper right, so the AI is going to watch her present and listen to her present. And then when she starts this presentation, she'll have that same experience. So right now, it's going to give her a countdown. This is all recording. She's practicing her PowerPoint presentation. All of this gets sent back to the educator to review. And the other thing we've just had is narrative AI feedback. This is a brand new announcement. So the educator can turn on AI narrative feedback and listen to their delivery, their content, their audience engagement. And then when the educator is done, the AI can go through and monitor this transcript and highlight different parts of what the student was talking about and give a draft state of feedback. So the educator can edit this feedback, but AI speeds up the process, analyzes the transcript of what the student was talking about and presenting about, and gives a draft set of feedback. So we call this narrative AI feedback, and this is in private preview right now. It should be rolling out very soon. So that's Speaker Progress. Also, if you say, you know what, we don't use Teams standalone, we might use a different learning management system like Moodle or Brightspace or Canvas or Schoology, we now have LTI integration into Learning Accelerators. That means you can have your LMS and you can pull the Learning Accelerators in and still use them. And we just announced that Moodle and Brightspace will be coming this spring with LTI integration. We already have Canvas and Schoology. Now, moving on to Reading Coach. This is also something available today globally in all languages. This is personalized practice and oral reading fluency. I won't have time to do the full Reading Coach demo, but the idea is students can generate their own stories based on what they're interested in and pick the direction that the story goes. So what that means is I can generate a story with AI, read it out loud, it listens to me read, gives me feedback, and then I can choose to create a new chapter in whichever direction I want. So the AI lets the student build their own story while reading out loud. And now we have that ability in 14 new languages. And so here's an example of Spanish, but we have many more. Student chooses a character. You can change the languages in Reading Coach. We also have localized user interface in 81 languages, and you can add a passage in 81 languages. So if you don't use AI, you can add your own passage, and a lot of new language supports. And then we've added things like reading streaks to make it more engaging. We've added a lightweight progress dashboard. So this means that students can track their progress as they're practicing reading out loud. We have achievements and lots of other engagement, and students can even see their trends over time. So this is great, tracking accuracy and reading speed and how the students are doing. This is available in consumer as well as Entra ID or the Microsoft 365 accounts. It's even launched right there in Microsoft 365 where you can find it. So these are all the updates I just talked about from Reading Coach. These are available today. And in the future, later this year, we're going to have learning management system integration with Reading Coach directly. Now, moving on to Copilot, there's some exciting announcements. A lot of you probably already know about Copilot Chat. It uses ChatGPT 4.0 as the background and the sort of the underground tech. It's transparent about sources. We don't have a knowledge cutoff, and it's also all protected with enterprise data. And this has existed. You can access it at m365copilot.com, our Microsoft 365 Copilot app, or the Edge, sidebar, and mobile. Now, the big announcement is agents. And now in Copilot Chat, you have agents. And I'm going to show how this works. So you go to m365copilot.com, and it's the default screen here. Now I'm going to go, and you can see there's some agents that are pre-installed, and I'm going to show how you can build your own. So this is a writing coach example or a prompt coach. But I'm going to go and I'm going to click on create an agent, and we're going to build that agent from scratch. So click create agent. And now I'm in Copilot Studio, and you can see some default examples right here. Career coach, prompt coach, writing coach, but I'm going to configure and build my own. There's a couple of templates you can choose from as well to get started, but we'll go from scratch. And I'm going to give my agent a name. It's the Ask Mike About EDU. I got a lot of questions about EDU. And here's a description. So now I have an agent that can answer all these questions. Instructions, all this information about how should the agent respond. Be professional, clear and concise. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to give it an icon. So there's a picture of me. Pick my favorite background color. Of course, it's purple, OneNote purple. And there, now I've got a nice little picture and color for my agent. Now I can turn on web content. I can also point it at my internal SharePoint site. We'll turn on image generator. Now, most important, we're going to add starter prompts. So I'm going to add a bunch of different title and messages for my starter prompts. So we'll put that in. So things like upcoming features. Can you tell me about the new features? What are the details of the roadmap? And it creates all of those starter prompts automatically for my agent on the right. And you can test it out right here if you wanted. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and click create to create my agent. So it's going to create that. I can share and change the settings on it if I want, give different permissions. But I'm just going to go and we'll click go to agent, and we're going to see what this looks like. Hey, there's the Ask Mike About EDU agent. It's up in the right there. And I've got all my little options that I made right here. So I'm going to click on, can you tell me about the upcoming features for Microsoft Education? I get asked this a lot. And I'll hit go on the prompt. It's going to search the web and check it out. It finds all the new updates. It came directly from our blog. It is sourced, of course. So this is great to make very focused types of agents to enhance productivity in your school. And as I had mentioned before, there are some default starter ones over on the right-hand side. I can go and, the writing coach, idea coach. I created also an Excel quick guide. I get a lot of Excel questions for my videos. So there's the Excel quick guide. That gives you a nice tour of agents. Now in M365 Copilot, we have some nice announcements. Agents for education. Now this is our paid offering of M365 Copilot. We have a teaching agent and a learning agent that are in private preview. And then we've also just announced we are working on Canvas and Moodle agents. These are third-party LMSs to pull all that data into the M365 agent. So the generic teaching agent looks a bit like this. And there's some that's kind of similar to the agent that I just built, but this is defined with system prompts to be helpful for educators to create content. We also have a learning agent for students. So if students want to have a little bit of help, learn a topic, tell me more, help me generate flashcards, there's a nice learning agent. And then the Canvas and Moodle agents. This is an example of the Canvas teacher agent. So all that Canvas data is piped in and merged with the grounding, and we're going to have agents available for that. Some other M365 Copilot features we're working on is feedback. So integration, for example, with rubrics. I've got teams here. I've got a rubric. I'm selecting different parts of my rubric. And when I click done, I'm going to have Copilot summarize all the feedback on the rubric. So there it is right there. We'll say keep. We also have feedback on teacher comments. So in this case, I have a document in Word. I've added a bunch of Word comments to it, and I want Copilot to summarize all those Word comments in the document. So Copilot can summarize all that feedback very quickly right there. And then lastly, we're working on standards integration. So this is integrating standards directly in. So standards from 35 countries. You'll be able to access them from places like Word or in Teams or even in OneNote. So pulling the standards data in, grounding it. So if you say in Word, create a rubric, you can say based on my standards from a specific country. So maybe I'm in Australia and I want to say ground the data on grade 6 standards of math in Australia. So it's very tailored. Now the last update is Project Spark on Copilot+ PCs. This is going to be a new free app designed for educators who have Copilot+ PCs. And I'm going to show a little fun video. Let's see how that works. So that is Project Spark, and that's going to be coming out in private preview right now. We'll be shipping it later this year, but it helps educators create interactive lessons locally with a local AI chip on a Copilot+ PC. So you don't hit the cloud, you actually run locally with AI to help create interactive lessons. We've partnered with places like OpenStax, the largest open education resources repository, NASA, Minecraft, and more. So lots of excitement coming. You'll hear more about this in the future. So thank you for having me today. This is a wrap up. If you want to get our quick guides and all the nice little handouts, these are great for professional development on all the education content we do. And thanks for having me, Breens Network.